Welcome to the 34th Annual KVIE Art Auction. Join us all weekend for a celebration of local and regional visual arts. Over 250 pieces will be auctioned off to the highest bidder, and you can be part of the action by watching and bidding on your favorite pieces. View the entire collection online at kvie.org/artauction. Then when your favorite item appears, call 1-844-KVIE-ART to place your bid. 100% of the auction proceeds benefit the programs and services of your local PBS station, KVIE. So thank you for watching and bidding. And now, let the auction begin.
To day 2 of the 2015 KVIE Art Auction. I'm Dee Neath, and we're pleased that you're here joining us to celebrate another day of beautiful art from Northern California artists. Today, you will also have the opportunity to bid on and buy works from featured area galleries, including the Short Center, Elk Grove Artists, Lodi Community Art Center, and the Artery. If you purchased art last night, you can pick it up today from noon to 5 here at the KVIE studios, located at 2030 West El Camino Avenue in Sacramento. Be sure to bring an ID and a blanket to protect your art for loading into your car. And now, take a look at how your generous bids help support KVIE's mission for the arts.
KVIE is committed to the visual and performing arts through more than 500 hours of arts programming each year. From Downton Abbey to Poldark and Bob Ross to art in the 21st century, KVIE's commitment to the arts stays strong through your participation as a donor and an art buyer. Thank you for being part of the KVIE Art Auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Stay tuned for the Short Center, coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. Developed in 1978, this arts-based program for adults with developmental disabilities offers them a venue to develop life skills, form meaningful friendships, and become more involved with the community. You can view all of the galleries featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/artauction.
Hello and welcome to the 2015 KVIE Art Auction. I'm Michael Sanford, and over the next half hour, you will have the opportunity to bid on and buy original works of art generously donated by Northern California artists, with all proceeds benefiting the arts mission of your local PBS station. Of course, that's KVIE. And this half hour features works from the Short Center. And now let's take a look at the art that's up for bid in this next half hour. We begin with item 7A, The Big Fish Whale by Letwan Washington. This is pencil and color measuring 22.5 by 15.5. It's artist frame, and the retail value is $100. Item 7B is Warrior 2 by Matt Crouch. This is acrylic on canvas, measuring 18 by 24 inches. It too is artist framed, and the retail value is $125. Item 7C is Byzantine Quilt by Doug Clayton. This is pencil color, measuring 18 by 24 inches. It's artist framed, and the retail value is $200. Item 7D is Vincent by John Espegren. This is acrylic on canvas measuring 18 by 24. It's artist framed, and the retail value is $100. Item 7E is Blue Heaven by William Haddad. This is ceramic measuring 6 by 10 inches around. Its retail value is $125. And finally, in this half hour, item 7F is The Result Of by John Stewart Berger. This is oil on canvas measuring 14 by 18 inches. The retail value is $480. During this section, we're pleased to be joined by Kim Scott, an art instructor with the Short Center in Sacramento, a longtime art auction participant, an artist in your own right, and she was a juror for the 2013 KVIE Art Auction. Welcome, Kim.
Well, hi, I'm so happy to be part of opening the auction for Saturday. Let's look at Letwan's work. She's really one of my favorite artists at the center. This piece is colored pencils predominantly. That's what she uses in her work. And the subject is the whale, or the big fish, probably based on Jonah and the whale. Latuan uses a lot of African American and Native African influences on her work. She looks at narratives that are interesting to her, which can be Bible stories or something she sees on TV, and that looks like that's what's happened here. What she's done is a lot of storytelling. They have like a ground line and they have the figure standing in nature, but she just mixes it all up together. There's stuff, she just crams in every single bit of the story here, centered by this awesome looking big blue fish. Her work is heavily pigmented with colored pencils. She goes over the colors over and over again, so there's a nice glossy pigmented surface on it. They're very jewel toned. Occasionally she'll include writing in it. In this one, she has her name in pencil here, which is a little hard to see, but you can see it if you get it in the light the right way.
I guess one way you could interpret this, Kim, is that we're actually looking inside the whale and seeing like Jonah.
I think that's very observant, Michael. There's a couple here. I was looking for a specific inside the whale, but honestly, this could be a big whale tummy, that's for sure. And there's kings, looks like dancers, people praying, people lined up, and I'm not sure where it came from, but there's a snowman in the bottom down here. So she's added that a little whimsy as well.
I love it. The opening bid on this beautiful piece of work is $30. We're looking for $30. So let's get started on that. Tell us a little bit more about the Short Center as we let the bids come in on this one.
The Short Center has been around for 40 years. There are actually 3 centers that are Short Centers Arts, and they're just loaded with studios. People come in that have developmental disabilities, and also artists teach there and are interactive with the artists there. And they just paint, paint, paint. We do ceramics, we do acting. There's all kinds of stuff there. There's a lot of sewing. And so Latuana's been there for a number of years. She is shown at the State Fair. She's shown at the Verge Gallery in Sacramento. She's been in a lot of shows. She was out for a while from the Short Center doing another adventure, and she's back again. We're so happy to have her back. Her work is so awesome. She sold a lot of work. You'd be lucky to have one of her pieces.
That's great. Let's go to the phone bank and see how bidding is going.
I'm here with our lovely volunteers who are waiting for your phone call. And we can't have an auction unless you call up and bid. We have a new phone number this year. It's 1-844-KVIE-ART or 1-844-584-3278. We've got the big fish. I need a opening bid of $30. Oh, we have a bid of $30. So let's get that up to 50. Just jump it up. These are talented, amazing artists. This is one of my favorite galleries we have each year, and we're going to go back and let Kim tell us some more about some of her students.
Kim, I think it's worth making a point that these are really accomplished artists, and that there are collectors all over the region, if not beyond, who specifically collect art from the Short Center.
There are people that collect outsider art. What outsider art means is an artist who they're self-taught. Now, she's very sophisticated. She has a lot of sophisticated influence in her work, and she's just very self-motivated. She also does some amazing crochet work, which are sculpture that she wears. It's really cool. She's an interesting gal.
Fantastic. Well, we still have a bid of $30. We'd like that to continue. Call it 1-844-KVIE-ART. That's 584-3278. Keep this open.
If you collected outsider art, if you collect folk art, if you collect African art, this piece would go awesome in your collection.
I agree. That's a perfect way to characterize that beautiful piece of work. Now we're going to move to the next selection from the Short Center. This is item 7B, Warrior 2 by Matt Crouch. We talked about acrylic on canvas, retail value of $125. We have a starting bid of $35 that we're looking for. Let's get that going, and you can tell us about this one, Kim.
This piece is acrylic on canvas. Matt has been in the art auction 2 previous times and has done very well in it. He's extremely interested in anime, manga, and comic book art and superheroes. And you can see him any day of the week watching them and doing sketches. He carries a sketchbook and works constantly. He's a consummate artist.
You pointed something out really interesting to me, Kim, and that's that the sky here is so dramatic, and it can be interpreted a couple of ways.
Yeah, what he's done is he has these very dynamically posed and colored superheroes here, not really paying attention to scale much. And the sky could either be full of stars or it could be full of throwing stars, which I'm sure is probably what he had in mind, were the throwing stars because of the centers in him here. So he's got all these weapons, and his work is usually flat areas painted in with acrylic, and then he does outlines to really pop everything out in there. These primary colors and even some fluorescent colors in there that really pop these out. This would be great for a kid's room or any regular arts collection. This man is on the move. He's been in a lot of different shows, including The Verge. He's also been in the Crocker Art Museum.
Well, it is a great way to introduce your kid to art, and it's vibrant, it's fascinating. We're still looking for an opening bid of $35, so let's get that going. This is really a unique piece of art, and I think it's something that a kid would enjoy. Adults would enjoy it, obviously, as well, but kids would just love something like this.
He self-frames, which means it's a kind of a wide canvas, and what he does is he paints the edges, so it doesn't need to have an additional frame on. The whole thing is painting.
Excellent. Well, let's toss to the phone bank and see what's happening over there.
I am so excited about the Short Center. I've collected Short Center artists for years. They're a great way to liven up your collection. At the price point we're at right now, it's an easy way to start a collection or maybe add to a child's collection. You can only do that if you call 1-844-KVIE-ART and bid now. I want to remind everybody, too, we've got a whole day's worth of art coming up. Get online at kvie.org/art auction. Pick out your pieces early. Let's go back out to Kim.
And we should point out that this is a piece of art that will go great in kids' rooms, and you had something else to tell us about this.
Yeah, this guy, he sits around with a sketchbook 8 hours a day, at least. That's what I see. He's sketching and refining his work. He has worked under the tutelage of artist Skinner. He's worked in my classes. He's in one of my classes right now. We're supposed to be doing something else, but no, he's doing drawing the whole time, which is great. How can I say no to that? And then he goes in to finish those sketches by adding color to them, putting them on canvas.
1-844-KVIE-ART. We're still looking for an opening bid of $35. Gosh, that's a really reasonable price for this very interesting piece of art.
It really tells a story, too. His influences are Vikings, Viking stories, Japanese and Chinese, sort of like ninjas, and so that shows up in all of these. And then he has, like, the grass in this is so dynamic, it's almost like the grass is a weapon as well. There's all these, he uses a lot of points, the stars in the grass as well, and then the designs on the outfits and stuff, so I don't know. I love his work. I have some of his work in my collection as well.
It's a great starting piece of work. I think people would really enjoy it. Still looking for a bid of $35. 1-844-KVIE-ART. Let's get the bidding going on this.
Yeah, really. This is one of the better pieces of his too. In my opinion, it's the best piece in the last 3 years that's been up for bid.
Well, let's leave the bidding open on that and move to our next piece of excellent work from the Short Center. This is item 7C, Byzantine Quilt by Doug Clayton. Retail value of $200. Kim, what stands out for you in this piece of work?
Doug Clayton is an artist that has been up for auction before too and has done very well in the auction here. This is called Byzantine Quilt, I believe, because it has that sort of quilt pattern in it for sure. Doug's technique is to layer colored pencil, layer over layer, and he sort of obsessively makes these marks. They're very textured. There's a lot of bright color that are layered up with more, like this one has a lot of black over the top and brown over the top. He also includes writing in his, as part of the design element in his work. If you it's not obvious what it says, but if you sat down with a pencil and paper, you could probably get part of his story from this writing, but it also functions as just part of the drawing as well.
This is a fascinating piece in that it seems to tell a story that you could spend hours trying to interpret and figure out. But even if you don't want to do that specifically, you just enjoy the colors. You enjoy the vibrancy of this piece.
I believe Doug has actually won an award in the State Fair as well. He's been painting for probably 30 years, and he's been in many shows, including in New York, and is in many collections across the United States. He's a very well-known artist. Well,
we are looking for an opening bid of $60 on this. $60. The retail value is $200. So right away, it's a good opportunity to get in and get a really interesting and collectible piece of artwork at a very reasonable price. So let's get the bids going at $60 at 1-844-KVIE-ART.
He also has, it's nicely matted and framed, and so it's ready to go right up on your wall. If you have a sewing room, if you have just a regular collection, an outsider collection, or a Sacramento artist collection, this would fit the bill for you. Please include some outsider artists in your regular collection. These people have been creating and contributing to the Sacramento art scene for years and need to get out there more.
Let's check in with the phone bank indeed.
I am standing here next to the very vibrant, fabulous Matt Crouch painting, Warrior 2. I know there's somebody out there who loves Japanese anime. I know you ComCon folks are all over Sacramento. What a fun piece to add to your collection. What a great way to support the Short Center and a really good way to support KVIE. So give me a call right now at 1-844-KVIE-ART and bid on this beautiful Matt Crouch piece. Let's go back out to Michael.
And as we mentioned at the top of the hour, 100% of your bid price goes to supporting public television, all the great national, local, and regional programs that we bring you day in and day out. It's a win-win. You get a great piece of artwork, you support public television, and we're all happy. So this is the kind of artwork that I think would really be something that people would enjoy.
This is, there's also, you see the squares, but another thing that he's known for in his work are these circular shapes. And so occasionally they kind of bleed through the squares, and they're probably totally covering the background underneath because he does so many layers on here, and it really builds up the texture and makes the colors really saturated. He uses Prismacolor pencils, which is a great color, a great quality material as well.
Still looking for an opening bid of $60? Let's get those phones ringing, 1-844-KVIE-ART. And now let's take a look at another piece of work from the Short Center. I have to tell you, Kim, this is one of my personal favorites. This is item 7D, Vincent, by John Espegren, acrylic on canvas, artist framed, retail value of $100. Talk about a bright, vibrant, eye-catching piece of artwork. It's just fantastic.
John Espegren has been painting for many years, probably 25 years. He seems like such a young man. But, and he's also been in the KVIE art auction and has been very successful here, as well as shows all over the United States. You may be familiar with his work. He does mostly architecture or people. This is based on the self-portrait of Vincent van Gogh. He likes to look through magazines and sees different pictures and feels motivated by them. He includes text as well as painting in his work, and he's known for his pop-out colors, his sort of flat areas with these felt pen outlines that really help things pop out. This is gallery framed, which is just painting on the edges, and he's signed on the outside edge on this side with this bright pink edge.
And Kim, as I shared with you, I had the pleasure of meeting John at our art gala last Monday. And he was so excited to have his work selected. Of course, as you mentioned, this is not the first time it's happened, but he loved having his picture taken by some of our attendees with his artwork. And this truly is a piece of wonderful art.
You can actually hear an interview with John if you go to ddsoarts.org. And there's a great interview with him. He has some problem articulating verbally, and they have a translator, and it's awesome to hear his interview. So check that out if you get the chance. The whole website is great, actually.
And there are people that specifically collect his work, are there not?
Yes, I have some of his work. I have a huge collection. If you collect outsider art, or if you just collect awesome art, this could go in a contemporary home.
True.
Any setting would be great.
And we have a bid of $30, so let's get that going. It's certainly something that I think the bids will increase quickly for this, because it is a wonderful piece of art. 1-844-KVIE-ART. Let's go back to the phone bank.
Here I am with Byzantine Quilt. We are looking for an opening bid of $60 on this piece. It's a beautiful little piece. You've got to know a quilter in your life. Maybe you collect quilts. This is a great piece for people that love folk art. I love the artist's attention to detail. There are literally layers and layers and layers of color on this piece. So let's get it started at 1-844-KVIE-ART. And let's go back to Kim.
You know, Michael and I were talking about this earlier, and he was saying, what is this? And I said, it's probably Vincent van Gogh's pocket with a paintbrush in it or something. But what John Espegren does is he adds really interesting, sort of structurally important shapes, like this star what's the star doing there too? The striped jacket collar, he puts in it's a heavy design element in his work. It's really neat.
And as you pointed out, as both an artist and an art expert, that this is a great way to fill kind of a large space that would otherwise just be yellow. But it's so interesting, and it really invites you to try to interpret what these things are and why they're here.
I don't know if he was thinking about Starry Night or what. Could be.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful piece. One of the things that I think John is just, he's so enthusiastic about his work. If you get a chance to meet him, you're even more incentivized to want to collect some of his artwork.
He's a great guy. Been painting a long time.
We've got a bid so far on this of $75. That's good. We're getting close to a bell ringer on this. The retail value is $100, so let's keep the bids coming. This certainly is something that should go for well over the retail price, so let's hope that happens. In the meantime, let's move over to something entirely different. This is 7E Blue Heaven by William Haddad. It's a ceramic measuring 6 by 10. $125 is the retail value. This is a beautiful piece of work.
William Haddad is a wonderful artist. He does a lot of paintings. He's had paintings in the past in the KVIE auction, as well as his ceramic work. His work, it's so luminous. He does mostly, subject matter is mostly animals and gardens, occasionally architecture as well. His signature is actually right here in the front, if you can see it. He doesn't sign the bottom, he signs with glaze in the piece. This piece would be great if you had a collection of ceramics, but it'll also just be beautiful in a kitchen to put your apples in or something. You know, I have a number of his pieces and always get so much comments on his work. The glazes are like, I don't know, Moroccan stained glass, or I don't know. He's a great colorist, and he adds layers over layers.
Let's invite Megan, our handler, to kind of lift this up and
see the inside.
Show you the inside. It's even more impressive when you see the work inside. It's absolutely vibrant.
It's got a line of flowers around here. They're done in orange, and then they have black over the top, over the top of that basic glaze of blue and violet color in there. Then he uses yellow and orange, which really pop with the blue and violet. They're the complementary colors to the blue and violet.
And one of the great things about a ceramic, obviously, is that you can put it absolutely anywhere in your house. It can be decorative, you could actually be functional. So it serves a lot of purposes and can go anywhere. And it just causes a room to brighten up, I would think.
So if you just love his work like I do, that's a good enough reason to buy this. But also, he's in a number of collections. If you have an outsider collection, a ceramic collection, if you have a blue kitchen or living room, any of those reasons would be a great reason to collect his work. He's one of my favorite artists. A little anecdotal note. He's made a birthday card for my dog every day for the last 5 years. And so my dog has the best collection in the world of William Haddad.
That's a very lucky dog. We have a current bid of $40 on this beautiful piece of ceramic. So let's go over to the phone bank and talk to Dee.
Want to do a little update. Vincent, number 70, is a bell ringer. We're currently at 140, but just because we've gone above doesn't mean the auction's over. And there's Kenny, my little friend Kenny the cowbell, ringing out. So what we need you to do is, this auction is still open. All these pieces are still available. We're almost at a bell ringer at 7B. We just need to get it up a little bit. So let's call now. We're going to close out this auction soon, and you don't want to be sitting at home and miss it. So let's go back and see that bowl one more time.
Right, it's a beautiful bowl. We can actually turn it and see.
Name.
There's the signature.
And it's like a field of flowers here against that twilight sky color.
Yeah.
If you had this lit from the inside, it would just glow.
That's actually a great idea. You could set it up in such a way that it's illuminated even more than its natural coloration. It's really fantastic. All right, the bid on that is now up to $40. Gosh, I would think it would go higher than that, Kim. It's so collectible. But we'll keep that going. And of course, all of your bids, all of your winning bids go to support public television. We're so grateful that you're participating, and it really is something that we can all win from. So 1-844 KVIE Art. That is something that we'll leave open, and continue to bid on that if you'd like.
His work has sold for over $300 in past years.
That's good to know.
That's his value range.
All right, the last offering here from the Short Center is item 7F, The Result Of by John Stewart Berger. Again, it's oil on canvas. The retail value is $480. Now, interesting background on the artists here and their relationship to all the other artists at the Short Center.
John Stuart Berger is the director of Short Center. He's a professional artist. You've probably seen his work around Sacramento. He has murals up. He has one of the projects where they painted the big dumpster things over on Howe Avenue.
We did a story on that.
He was one of the artists with that. He's been around for a long time and done tons of artist shows. He also has made a lot of opportunities for the outsider artists in his program to be seen by the general public and to contribute to our culture in Sacramento. He is interested in nature. He does a lot of work that are mutated insects, birds, mammals, plants. He's very sophisticated in his painting style, even though there's a little bit of humorous, cuddly looking, animals in it, and then they're just a little bit, look at those teeth, a little bit scary too.
This is what I like. You pointed this out to me earlier. You've got these scary creatures, and yet it's almost a family scene. It's really kind of cute. It's a combination of interesting and a little bit scary and very, very visual. And the colors are so vibrant. It's just something that just draws you in and would spark all kinds of conversation, I'm sure.
John is shown nationally. He's shown all over the place. He's well recognized. He's been published. If you follow art in Sacramento, you probably are already familiar with his work.
And we have a bid of $75. Let's keep that going while we go over to the phone bank.
That's a deal.
I see the red lights. Hey, I'm in the phone bank here with Patty French, who's one of our volunteers. She's holding this lovely blue bowl, My Blue Heaven, which we need to get another bid on. So you can only get a bid in if you call. Are you having fun?
I'm having a great time. Thank you.
Good. We're having a good time here too, but we need you to call and keep these guys back here busy. So let's go back out and look at that great John Berger piece again.
You were mentioning that John Berger does such a great job with the other artists at the Short Center. He really provides an inspiration, and then his work in its own right is just really distinctive.
He does really large work too. So this is a nice opportunity to get a smaller piece if you don't have a lot of room in your house, like a giant gallery wall or something. So plus this would really pop. You could see this from across the room. The color's really cool. His backgrounds are very sophisticated. There's a lot of blending and subtlety going on here.
The temptation is always to say, oh, this would be great for a kid's room. They would just, but it would be a great conversation starter for any grown-up sitting around in the living room looking at it. What is that? And then you talk about the background, the artists. It's really a fantastic opportunity.
I have some of his work in my collection. Many people in the arts community do collect his work. He's like an artist, which means that other artists like to collect his work. So that's a very good sign for the future value of his work as well.
And this piece, the result of, has a current bid of $75. I'm sure it'll go much higher than that. It has a retail value of $480, so clearly this is something that has great value and is something that I think would enhance anybody's collection. 1-844-KVIE Art is the number to call, and let's see if we can get the bids higher on this beautiful piece.
This is also a very high quality work of his, which is a great opportunity to get something of his work of this high quality.
Let's check in with the phone bank again.
Okay, folks, wake up. This is a California Masters piece that we have up right now. It's a little early in the day for the big names, but I wanted to start the auction off with a bang. And we can only do that if you call 1-844-584-3278 and bid. Get online, figure out which pieces you can't live without. This would be one of my choices. And give us a call. So let's go look at that Berger piece one more time.
John is very interested in biology. He used to be the president of the reptile club in town.
That's interesting.
He works at the Arboretum in Davis, as well as being a full-time artist and teacher and director. And so you can see that all playing in here. There's a little bit of a mutation, a crazy mutation going on here. It's fun, it's topical, it's colorful, and it's well executed as well.
And you could have a lot of fun. Yeah, you could have a lot of fun dissecting this piece, literally and figuratively. What are these strange things inside?
I know.
Are these salmon eggs? Why are they there?
Yeah, that's right. Well, this is the kind of work that will engage you through the years. You can grow with the work, which is always a sign of a good piece of work. You'll look at it one day and it'll mean one thing to you, and you'll look at it the next day and it'll mean something else to you, which is great.
And wouldn't it be fun to start a Berger collection with this piece and then look at his other work and just grow it in your home over time? Well, stay tuned, because there's more art coming up in the next half hour in the KVIE Art Auction.
Bidding on items in the art auction is quick and easy to do. First, explore the collection online at kvie.org/art auction, or keep your television tuned to KVIE. When a piece of art catches your eye, call 1-844-KVIE-ART and a volunteer will assist you. KVIE accepts all major credit cards for your art purchase, and a member of our accounting team will confirm your payment within 5 minutes of item sale. Thank you for being part of the KVIE art auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Stay tuned for contemporary classics coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. Juried by Esteban Villa, this category features abstract and non-objective works in all media.
Keep clapping. Okay.
Hello again, I'm Michael Sanford, and we're back for another half hour of auction excitement. And in this half hour, we'll be featuring contemporary classic works. And now let's take a look at some of the fantastic art that is up for bid in this next half hour. We begin with item 8A. That's called Ha Mua Mua. Say that 10 times fast, by Peggy Busher Martinez. This is acrylic on canvas measuring 24 by 24 inches. Its retail value is $400. Item 8B is The Letter by Dwight Head. This is ink on paper measuring 25 by 21 inches. Its art is framed, and its retail value is $450. Item 8C, isn't this beautiful? Pink Sky Over Sacramento by Dawn Green. This is acrylic on canvas measuring 20 by 20. Retail value is $450. Item 8D is Feel the Sprouts by Kate Culver. This is mixed media measuring 23 by 28 inches. Its art is framed, and its retail value is $450. Item 8E is Division by Therese Lear. This is acrylic on canvas measuring 20 by 20. Retail value is $325. And item 8F is Blackened by Randy Thacker. This is acrylic on canvas as well, measuring 18 by 24, and its retail value is $500. During this break, we're pleased to be joined again by Kim Scott, contributing artist and past art auction juror. Kim, this is really a fun collection. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on this first piece.
Well, you know, we are very lucky because the artist is in the studio today working on the phone banks, and I think they're going to have a few words directly from the artist, which is great.
And look who I have in the phone bank answering phones.
I'm Peggy Martinez, and I painted hamuamua, which are fish, tropical fish, reminding me of my snorkeling time in Hawaii and the Caribbean.
And you can bid on this piece right now. You just got to do it by calling 1-844-KVIE-ART. Now let's go look at your beautiful piece one more time.
The opening bid on this is $120. I just learned something in those few seconds from the artist about her inspiration. And obviously you see the beautiful fish images in here, and the Caribbean just jumps out at you.
She was telling me earlier that what she does is she sits and looks at the canvas. She starts putting colors in without an idea specifically of what she's going after, and the canvas basically speaks to her and tells her what to paint next, which I identify with. I kind of do that too. And so this particular piece, like she was saying, the fish started showing up, and so she helped to define them and let them come out of the canvas a little further. She said also that as she was painting, she started singing, and the singing is part of the piece as well, that it adds a certain flavor to the work.
There is a kind of lyricism just to the painting in itself. And getting beyond how to interpret it, it's just such a beautiful piece of art just to behold, the vibrant colors. You think about how it would look in someone's home. It would just draw people's attention and just brighten up any room, I would think.
This piece also is self-framed, which means the side of the painting actually goes around over the side. So as you approach the painting from the side, you get a view of it before you even see it head on. I really love the transparency. It's also a little glossy and luscious looking. It looks like water. I do love the colors too, like you were saying, Michael. They're so jewel tone.
Jewel tone, I like that. We are looking for an opening bid of $120 on this beautiful piece. Hamuamua, I think I said it right that time. 1-844-KVIE-ART. The phones are open and they're starting to ring, so that's good. This is something I think that would enhance anybody's collection, whether you're a first-time collector or just looking for a wide variety of contemporary classics.
Peggy says that her work evolves with every piece because she paints and then lets the piece recommend to her what needs to come next. And so her work is always evolving because of that.
Excellent. It's really a beautiful piece of work. Signed here, nice size, could fit in almost any room. It's just something that I think will enhance anybody's collection. 1-844-KVIE Art is the number to call. We are still waiting for our first bid of $120, so we expect that should come in shortly, but let's keep the bidding going.
She considers her work medicine for the soul, the body, and the mind, and the heart. And I can see that it's very soothing. It'd be great to reflect on it, to have it maybe in your little meditation corner in your house or someplace where you like to relax would be awesome.
And without getting too metaphysical here, do you think that if you know the intention of the artist, it kind of resonates through their work and maybe the recipient enjoys it as well?
I think you would get that feeling all by yourself looking at it, but it's always nice to hear what the artist has to say about the environment she was in when she created it. And you can see more of her work online as well.
Excellent. Well, of course, all of these artworks are donated by the artists, and we really appreciate their generosity. And your generosity helps support public television. You support our programmings, regional, local, and national, and you get a great piece of artwork. So let's move on to the next piece. This is The Letter by Dwight Head. Ink on paper, as I mentioned before, retail value of $450. This really jumped out at me, Kim. There's such an interesting juxtaposition of two styles here, and you can explain it much better than I.
Well, Dwight has spent a lot of time traveling in Europe as well as other places, and it really shows up in his choices here in his work. He considers himself a surrealist, and so he'll put things next to each other that you maybe wouldn't see in life, but in your dreams you might. And so this piece has a little bit of a vignette from Vermeer, a Vermeer painting. And this side over here is based on a Salvador Dali painting. And he's got them sort of flowing together in here. He uses colored pencil, I can see in here. It's on some kind of textured papers, and you can see that in the picture right now on the screen. And then he uses ink to help pop everything out, to pop the edges out, and to really make those colors pop out as well.
Well, you certainly see the Dali influence here on the right side, and then, of course, this looks like a Vermeer. And the fact that they're just side by side, it's almost a seamless transition, but then, again, it draws your eyes towards the distinctive difference between the two.
Well, you know, during the time of Vermeer, they did something called cabinet paintings, and that was painting that would actually fit in a person's house rather than in a museum or a palace. And so the way this is framed is actually framed like a cabinet painting as well, which really makes it fit together even better, the style of the frame.
We are looking at $150 right now. Let's get those bids up, and we'll go to the phone bank.
I am here in front of the beautiful Peggy Martinez piece, which is now at $200. We need to get that up, and I'm here with volunteer Larry, who's always here, it seems like.
Hey, Dee, it's good to see you today.
Good to see you again. So why should they call in today?
Well, the 2015 art auction is a wonderful event. It's a great way to support KVIE. The piece that you're looking at right now, the fishes, oh my goodness, the colors are so vibrant. If you could see these in your home, I think you'd really enjoy these.
Well, and thank you, Larry, for all your years of volunteering. We're going to go back out there and look at that beautiful piece one more time that Kim's standing next to.
All right, thank you, Dee. And of course, this is still, the bid price is still at $150. I think this is so distinctive and unique. Talk about a conversation starter in your home.
Well, Dwight says that what he's interested in his painting is a lot of times it's the plight of women and how sometimes women are objectified. And this shows these two women in sort of a placid sitting at home with the servant playing the music. It's like very nice and bucolic. And then at the same time, outside the window here, there's like all this strange dripping telephones and, you know, complexity, the complexity of the mind. And so it's helping to make these women appear more than just a lovely, you know, a beautified object.
You know, it's interesting, I just now noticed this, perhaps this was the inspiration for the title. There is a letter right there. And who knows, in a Dali-esque style, who knows exactly what that means, but it's just fascinating to behold. The bid is still $150 for this. This is really, I think, a wonderful piece to collect and something that you would just enhance any room in your house. It's quite lovely.
It's a well-executed piece. He's from Sacramento, but he has traveled all over the world to inform himself and bring that back to us in Sacramento, which is great. I also like this geometric shapes on this side compared to the sort of creamy, smooth blending over on this side. There's a pretty hard line here, but at the same time, they seem like they flow together.
Yeah, and there's precision in so many of the details here that I think really makes it something that stands out, be a wonderful collection piece for anyone. So excellent. The letter, $150 is still the bid. Let's keep that bid open. Get folks to bring in even more for that beautiful piece. But in the meantime, we move to item 8C, Pink Sky Over Sacramento by Don Green. Acrylic on canvas, retail value of $450. Kim, this is one of my personal favorites. The use of color here is just magnificent. It's just an absolutely inspirational piece.
If you're from the Central Valley and you have gone outside at dawn or dusk, you've seen this sky. It's that fantastic pink sky. Unfortunately, it's probably from fires or something like that. But the reward for that terrible thing is this beautiful, beautiful sky. This shows a river too, which we're all familiar with in the valley. So for me, this is just one of those iconic Sacramento Valley scenes.
Absolutely. And you know, it all it takes is $135 for you to be the high bidder. So let's get the bidding started on that. 1-844 KVIE Art. And let's go to the phone bank.
And here we are. We've got a bell ringer. 8A is Peggy's piece. Not only did Peggy donate a piece that became a bell ringer, but she's down here answering phones. So give us a call. There's my friend Cowbell Kenny. So let's go back out onto the floor and call. Okay.
Congratulations. It's so great that piece did hit its retail value.
It was a beautiful piece.
But back to this one, Pink Sky. It's so iconic for this region. It's something that I think you could look at living in Northern California and say, I know where this is, and I've seen this beautiful pink sky, and I'm so glad it was captured on.
The artist said she loves pink, and that was one of her motivators for this, and she loves skies. Same here. I love pink and I love skies too. It's very soft looking. It could go anywhere in your house, and it's so calming too. It's so beautiful. I love the fields, the way the water sort of leads you back into the scene, and then that massive sky. My husband, who's from museum, when he sees it, or from New Zealand, a museum, right? From New Zealand, sees a sky like this, he says, you don't see that in New Zealand. You see it here in America. We have these huge skies.
And we are blessed to have these kind of skies in California. We're blessed to have this wonderful artwork donated to us to offer to you at the KVIE Arts Auction. Our current bid on this is $135. That's a very nice low bid. I think we can do better than that.
That's a very good price. So this artist usually uses acrylics and pastels, and this is one of her acrylic pieces. You can see the texture of the canvas. She's done some kind of dry brush so that you can see the strokes on the canvas. It's kind of a dry finish, which is an artist's choice to have it glossy or matte. And it is self-framed as well. So the painting goes clear around the edge, and when you approach this from the side, you can see the painting from the side before you get around to the front even.
Isn't that kind of a nice touch too, to be able to look at clearly almost a three-dimensional image, because if you approach it from the side, you see the sky goes all the way around, and the sky goes above, and the grass and the water goes below. It's really a unique perspective.
It's a nice size too. It'll show up in a room very well, but it's small enough that if you don't have a lot of wall space, it'll fit in a nice little spot that you might be able to find between a couple of other paintings in your collection or by itself.
I think it would soften and enhance any room. The bid is still at $135, and let's go to the phone bank.
The way I can see. Hi, here we are live at the KVIE Art Auction. We've got Dwight Head's piece here, and Mary Ellen, one of our experts, is a huge fan. Why do you like his work so much?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's very layered, and it's Dali-esque to me, you know.
It is very Dali-esque, and you can get this piece right now. The high bid is $300. It's a $450 piece. I've got Pink Sky Over Sacramento. I've got currently $135 on that. That's a $450 value, so now's the time to call. Field of Sprouts is at $135. We need an opening bid. That's a lovely piece, and I'm really impressed with the framing on it. We've also got 2 more pieces coming up after that, but you can't win unless you call and bid. So call and bid now, and let's go back and look at that nice piece.
All right. Thank you, Dee. And let's take a look at Field the Sprouts. I had the privilege of meeting Kate Culver at the gala Monday night, and she really, the way she talked about this piece really gave me a much greater appreciation for it. It really, I think, in her words, represents the cycle of life.
Definitely. She has a big reverence for nature. She actually lives out in the nature, and she's there every single day. She's trying to evoke in the viewer that feeling of the, like the cycle of life, where there's the leaves falling, there's the little acorn sprouting, and how it's a continuing cycle. And when she said she was sorry for people that only walked on sidewalks and didn't have the chance to really see that happen on a day-to-day basis of the cycle of life. She's used stencils on here. It's an interesting mixed media piece. The hands and some of the other shapes in the background are stencils, including some of the leaves. And then these leaves and the acorns up close have been done with colored pencils, so they have a different texture to them than the stencil does.
Hence the mixed media. I had a chance to read her bio, and I think she was born in the Vallejo area, worked for some major companies as a graphic artist, but really always had, she'd been painting and selling her paintings almost since childhood. And finally, in the late 90s, got to be a full-time artist, moved up to the foothills, and started creating wonderful works like this. I noticed some of her other works had extremely vibrant colors, so this is something that's probably a little more subtle for her.
She's always interested in the reverence for life in her works and for nature, and it really shows in this. From the little acorn comes the mighty oak, huh? And
absolutely.
The valley is the oaks.
That's right. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. We're looking for an opening bid of $135 on this piece. There's a softness and a subtlety to it that I think you could put it anywhere in your house and it would be just a lovely addition of original art. 1-844 KVIE Art. Again, $135 is our opening bid. It's got a retail value of $450. So I would think someone would want to call in very quickly on this one and get the bids going.
It almost has a really interesting flow to it. You see the lines, it almost looks like it could be wind or it could be water. It's almost like that.
And it's layered too, isn't it?
Yeah. If you sit and look at it, you can really look back into the piece. It's so nice. And the texture of these leaves are great too. They're just starting to turn brown.
And we do have a bid of $135, which is great. And now let's go to the phone bank.
I am here with Steve, who works with me every day here at KVIE and is a big help here in the auction.
Hey there, everybody.
Why do they need to call?
You need to call because this is the best way you can support the arts on KVIE. We've had a couple bell ringers already, so get on the phones. We have a bidding war. We are very close with the letter. So give a call right now. We've been involved in this process since April, and now this is the culmination. Everybody's here in the studio having a good time, so give us a call.
Now it's time to call 1-844 KVIE Art. Now let's go back out onto easel 3. I'm like, which easel are we?
Is that easel 3? Okay. We just love supporting the arts in our region, and we love the way artists support us. Obviously, KVIE Art showcase this art auction. It's a great way to showcase some of the best artists in Northern California and give you the opportunity to buy their works and support public television. And this is a great example of the kind of generous donations that we receive.
Some art can be very confrontational. I like that kind of art myself, but this piece is very soothing, welcoming, and would be something you could have in your house that would feel very relaxing and peaceful, which is really great, a great quality for work as well.
I'm hearing a bell ringing. Let's see.
I love that.
We'll find out in a minute which one that was. But in the meantime, Field the Sprouts still has a bid of $135. I would think other people would want to get this. It's just really it's a beautiful piece that's just the right size, I think, for so many rooms and just brings a softness to wherever it would be.
And who out there loves nature, huh? We're so lucky to live in this valley where there's the most amazing nature in this valley. And this just gives you a little piece of that, brings a little piece of that indoors.
Excellent. 1-844 KVIE Art. Call now, bid now. This is a great piece of work, and I think it's something that would enhance any home.
It's got a beautiful frame and mat also. The color is sort of a soft bluish gray. that matches the piece very well. He's ready to hang.
And we'll leave the bidding open on that, but in the meantime, let's move to item 8E. That's Division by Therese Lear. Again, acrylic on canvas, retail value of $325. This is one of these interesting pieces that I love to get your input on it, Kim, because the more you articulated the thinking behind it, the more I grew to appreciate it.
Well, Therese, I saw this piece online, and I got a chance to look at it there, but honestly, in person, it is even better in person. What I believe Therese's method is you can see these little color squares here. The whole painting was painted with color originally. Then she went in with the white and just picked out these little areas to reveal through that white ground. The white ground is matte and has a lot of texture. If you look closely at it, there's all this, with brushes and probably with palette knives too, she's added this texture to this background. And it can, for me, I can look at it a couple different ways. One is a white field like a snow or a white wall or something like that with all these little architectural shapes, I don't know, what geometric shapes on that white field. Or you can look at it as windows looking beyond a white field into something beyond. It's almost like a stained glass window in a way. The colors that she's used in the background are very luscious, rich, jewel tones, transparency. It's almost like light is coming from the back side of this when you look through. It's so mysterious to me. It makes me think, what is that back there? I want to get up close to that window and look through and see what's back there.
Well, the sheer vibrancy and passion of this painting really comes through. We have an opening bid of $80. Let's get that up to $100. 1-844-KVIE Art. It's a beautiful piece. It's something that I think you could sit in a room and just look at it for hours. And just enjoy the vibrant colors contrasted with a thick white here.
What Therese has done also is it's a self-framed piece. It's painted black on the edges. So it just the edge just sort of drops out and the white just pops forward and floats above the wall, which is great too. It sort of sets it in its own world in a way.
Yeah.
I just keep looking at this like, what is behind there? There's some wonderful exotic Mediterranean ocean or there's something going on back there. I want to know what it is.
It's a piece that I think you can enjoy for hours, and it's something that I guess you would call it strictly contemporary, but it's really got...
It's an abstract. But the colors she's chosen also are complementary colors, and so that makes them vibrate a little bit more if she hadn't used that.
All right, let's go back to the phone bank.
I am standing next to the beautiful pink sky over Sacramento. It has a current bid of $135. We need to get it up to the retail at $450. This is a beautiful painting. It goes all the way around the edge. It's got a nice contemporary feeling, and if you love those sunsets in Sacramento, this is the painting for you. A little recap, Field of Sprouts is at $150. We need to get that up to $450. Division is currently at $80. We need to get your bids in. When the artist gives us this piece, they want us to get retail. They didn't give it to the gallery. They gave it to us, and we want it in your living room. So we need you to call 1-844-KVIE Art. Let's go back out to Kim and Michael.
You know, we often talk about collectors, and some are people who have all kinds of different artists, and others are just starting out. Do you think, Kim, this might be a piece of work that somebody could start a collection with?
I always say, if you like it, buy it. And this is a great price. If you like it, it's beautiful, but the best way to tell if an art's going to appreciate is if you like it, honestly, because more people will like it too. This woman has been collected. She's shown locally, nationally, and internationally. And she's a member of the Artists Collaborative Gallery. She's an established artist in Sacramento and has shown outside of Sacramento as well. So other people are collecting her, and you can too at a great price.
And I think the thing to remember is that so many of our Northern California artists who donate to the KVIE Art Auction are shown, are seen all over the world. Their work is that renowned. So you're really buying something that's the highest quality. It's probably a good investment for the future, and it's just something that you'll enjoy so much in your house. 1-844-KVIE Art is the number to call. The current bid on this is still $80, so let's get it up to $100, $110. Let's get it going.
So if you collect abstract work, honestly, even though this is abstract, my mind has a tendency to want to label things, but it's a beautiful piece for anybody's home.
And we will leave the bidding open on that, on Division, but in the meantime, let's go to item 8F. the last one in this half hour's collection. It's Blackened by Randy Thacker. It is acrylic on canvas, retail value of $500. This is truly a fascinating piece, Kim.
I love this piece. It's very dark and moody, but it's beautiful, rich colors as well. Randy does mostly landscape paintings, and so that's how I tend to read this. There also in his statement, he said the name Blackened is also the name of a Metallica song, and yes, he listens to Metallica. So it may have something to do with that. I got up this morning and listened to Blackened by Metallica, just to see if I got the connection. But my first impression of this piece was, well, the technique is beautiful. It's very luscious. There's these layers of between thin and thick, transparent glazes on this thing. To me, it looks almost like you're looking in a caveman's cave, and this is the reflection of the fire on the walls of the cave. Or it could have something to do with the fires going on in the Central Valley as well. It has that kind of fiery look to it.
We have a current bid of $150 on this with a retail value of $500. So let's get the bidding going. Standing next to this, Kim, you say it is moody, and indeed it is, but there's still a vibrancy to it. The bright colors that surround it really make it pop out.
It's like a primal feeling to it. It's not just dark, but it's a sort of a primal feeling, a deep feeling. That looks like this is the distance to me. These, the way he's rendered them, it's actually, the more you look at it, the more interesting it is. There's so much interesting texture going on in here. These look like they could be rocks or mountains, or it could be something close up or far away. It really is one of those things that grows as you look at it. It could mean a lot.
And it really grows on you the more time you spend with it. Current bid is $150. Let's go to the phone bank.
All right, well, thank you so much, Michael. We realize it is a beautiful day outside, but you watching the KVIE art auction are helping to keep beautiful programming coming into your home by placing your bids on this beautiful art. So the beautiful circle goes round and round, and we thank you for taking part in this. Pick up the phone, call 1-844-KVIE-ART. Be a part of our auction. This is Northern California's largest art gallery for the entire weekend, and we are live from our Sacramento studios. Michael, back to you.
All right, and Rob, thanks for joining us. Good to have you in studio. Again, this is the last piece in this collection this half hour, and it is really, I think, one of the most dramatic and something that just jumps out at you, something that you could look at for hours and really enjoy.
The more I look at it, the more I love it, honestly. He has done the same thing here, self-framed. It's painted black on the edges so that all you see really is the painting. It just sort of pops it off of the wall about 1.5 inches, and then he's used probably some brushes and some palette knives. You see ridges in here of the paint, and probably the gesso underneath too has been textured before he actually painted on it. And it's caused some of these, it's like, makes me want to go home and try it myself. It's such an interesting technique. I think the longer you would look at this, the more you would love it.
And you can just see the artist's energy in the brush strokes throughout.
And he said he loved painting it also. So that's always good, you know, because you get the feeling from the artist for sure.
Current bid is $150 on this dramatic piece of art that I think would be a showstopper and a conversation piece in your home. So
this would be a great place to start a collection.
It is. $175 is what we're looking for on this beautiful piece. 1-844-KVIE Art. Give us a call, add it to your collection, or start your collection with it. I think it is a good collection starter, as you say, Kim.
It's a good size for people that don't have giant walls, but it still would stand up and hold its own space on the wall.
Absolutely. Current bid $150. Let's get it up to $175. We are close to the end of this half hour, so we will keep this open, but let's keep going on it. $175 is a very good price for this, and I think we can get that quite easily. 1-844-KVIE Art. Let's go back to the phone bank.
And you know, one of the things I want to urge you is that you can get involved in art collecting. Just a couple of years ago, I thought, I can't do this. It's too expensive. Why buy one when you can't have a lot of them, right? Well, this is a great way to start. Start your collection with one piece of art. And every year, if you can afford it, try to add to another piece. And then it grows and grows and grows. These prices are very reasonable at $150 right now at a retail of $500. The piece that Michael has been showing you, it is a stunner. Michael, back to you.
Thanks, Rob. Your expressions about the collectability and starting a collection are really quite accurate. We still have 2 items open. Division, the high bid currently is $200, and Blackened, it's up to $175. Let's keep the bidding going on these. These are fantastic pieces of work. And as we wrap up this half hour, and thank you, Kim Davis, for all of your insights, we have lots of hours ahead, some fantastic artwork. So stay tuned, because there's more art coming up in the next half hour in the KVIE Art Auction.
KVIE is committed to the visual and performing arts through more than 500 hours of arts programming each year. From Downton Abbey to Poldark and Bob Ross to Art in the 21st Century, KVIE's commitment to the arts stays strong through your participation as a donor and an art buyer. Thank you for being part of the KVIE Art Auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Stay tuned for a special themed collection coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. Themed galleries allow collectors to purchase art that share a common theme regardless of medium or style.
And welcome back. We are live from the KVIE studios in Sacramento, and we are so excited because we are bringing you Northern California's largest collection of art right now live through your television. It's a great weekend. We are live all weekend long. We are live today all the way up until 10 o'clock, and then we're live tomorrow from noon until 10 o'clock as well. Let me do a little bit of recapping. Our producer's saying for me to recap the 8E and 8F pieces. Those are the pieces that Michael Sanford were just showing you. It looks like E just closed, but F is at Blackened at $175. I believe we do have an auction going on because I see more than one person on the phone, so I know that someone's duking it out for the piece Blackened. It is a retail at $500, and we're looking for $175 on that. All right, we'll have more coming up from the phone bank shortly, but first we're going to kick this half hour off with Amy Henry and Mary Ellen Lane. Good to see you both.
Well, hello. Welcome to the 2015 KVIE Art Auction. Hi, I'm Amy Henry, and over the next half hour, you will have the opportunity to bid on and buy original works of art graciously donated by Northern California artists, with all proceeds benefiting the arts mission of your local PBS station, KVIE. So now let's take a look at the art that is up for bid in this next half hour. Item 9A is Nova by Charlotte Cooper. This is encaustic, measuring 20 by 20. Retail value is $350. Junior Award, Contemporary Classics. Next, item 9B is Lost Memories by Susan Poirier. This is encaustic, measuring 8 by 8. The retail value of this is $200. Item 9C is Emerging Melody by Vera McMillan. This is acrylic on paper, measuring 28 by 22. This is artist framed, and the retail value is $950. Next, item 9D is Wader World by Milo. This is pastels measuring 33 by 39. This is also artist framed. Retail value is $450. Next, item 9E, Gifted by Sheila Cameron. Now this is mixed media measuring 36 by 48, and the retail value is $850. And then our last item, item 9F, is Untitled by Arthur Sordillo. This is mixed media measuring 18 by 18, and the retail value is $750. Now, during this break, we are pleased, very pleased, to be joined by Mary Ellen Lane, a well-known mosaic artist in Sacramento who has shown in the KVIE gallery and a long-time art auction volunteer and contributing artist. Welcome, Mary Ellen. Thank you
Amy.
so much.
Nice to be here.
This is exciting.
It is exciting, yes.
We're so excited. So now let's get the bidding started. Here we go. So we are looking at our first item. Item 9A is Nova by Charlotte Cooper. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this piece?
Okay, this is an encaustic piece, which means it's made of wax, and it's a very old technique. The Greeks used it at the beginning of civilization, actually. And now, this artist, Charlotte Cooper, has used layers of wax to kind of embed pigment, and her idea is brightness, like darkness and brightness. So the blue field kind of resembles a night sky, I think.
Ooh, well, we do have a high bid of $140. Let's get those phones ringing. This is wonderful. You know, when I look at this, I just see imagination pops out. Because
Definitely.
she's captured that Nova Star look. So tell us a little bit about what encaustic means then.
Encaustic, the Greeks used wax to for their ship hulls,
Okay.
like in order to kind of seal the ships. And I guess the artists that were hanging out back in that time decided that they were going to use it for art, and they created this idea of actually capturing pigment in the wax. So this artist uses many layers. So she puts the wax down in the pigment, and then she's not quite sure how it's going to work out. And that's always the beauty of encaustic, is the wax will do things that you're not quite sure of.
So for those that are interested in this piece then, when they purchase this, are there any concerns about the wax and how to care for it? Are there any special instructions?
The instructions would be just never store it in a place where it gets over 150 degrees Fahrenheit. But other than that, it's fine. In fact, it will last for thousands of years. And the reason that artists use wax is because they want that pigment to stay really bright. And it will do that.
Oh, wow.
And this is a really nice piece because of the way she's kind of scored the wax here and embedded, again, the color. I like the red, white, and blue of this.
Yes.
It has a patriotic feel to me for some reason.
Right,
Yeah.
It does. Well, let's go ahead and take a listen to what's going on in our phone bank. Rob, tell us a little bit more. What's happening?
There's a lot going on over here, and it's so much fun to eavesdrop on all the conversations that are happening. And it's just a lot of fun. I just met this lovely lady back here. Big wave, I'm sure we can see you. Yeah,
Peggy.
we can see you there. Peggy Martinez, her piece went for a bell ringer earlier. So our phone bank is of the KVIE, Friends of KVIE, and there's several artists you were saying.
We have 3. There's Kenny.
That's
Yay,
for
Kenny.
you.
That's for you, honey. We do have 3 artists. Not only did these artists donate their works to the auction, but here they are waiting for you to call and bid on them. So you got to call and bid 1-844-KVIE-ART, and maybe you'll get an artist on the phone or one of our other lovely volunteers. Either way, they can answer questions about the artwork, and they can definitely take your bid.
And also, we have caller ID, so I've walked by here and looked at some of the names, and I recognize some of the people calling in. I don't know if we're allowed to say their names or not, but I know there are a lot of people who are calling in who are supporters of this station, and we are so thankful for the people who are watching right now and taking part in the KVIE art auction.
And what a great way to support the station. Not only are you donating to your favorite station, but you're also getting a great piece of art. So let's go out and see what Mary Ellen's got out there now.
Well, we have moved on to the next piece. This is item number 9B. It's entitled Lost Memories by Susan Poirier. And it also, Mary Ellen, is an encaustic measuring 8 by 8. And I tell you, the colors are just outstanding on this piece. Tell us a little bit about Susan and what is her way of putting this together with the different colors? Does she have a similar theme in all of her art, or?
Well, again, it's encaustic, so there's a layering, and kind of the same idea where she's not quite sure how it's going to work, but she has an idea. So the meditative qualities of this piece, I think, are what is strong about it. The blues combined with that yellow, she wants it to speak to us in kind of a transformative way. So like when you're staring at abstract art, you know, how does it speak to you?
Yeah.
How is it reflecting back to you? This piece to me reminds me of a field in a way, like maybe a field in Sacramento that you, especially now where the colors are kind of fall and dry, and then that light blue sky. I can see this being like in a meditative space.
Yes. Yes, and it's a nice size because it's not overpowering, it's not too small, but I tell you, just as you can see on screen, what you're seeing is how we're seeing it, and you see those blues there? That is absolutely gorgeous. It just pops out at you. And so we've got a high bid of $60. Let's get that going. Again, this retails at $200. And when you make your investment to buying a piece like this, you're not only buying a beautiful, outstanding piece that, again, was donated to KVIE, but you're supporting the local programming here, which goes well beyond even what you get to take home. And so we are excited to bring this to you. This is just marvelous. When I look at this, for me, it kind of reminds me of seascape and just calmness, serenity is what I see.
You know, and now I think people are really going back to kind of more meditative spaces in their homes and getting away from kind of the digital world, and there's a trend to create rooms in your home where you're disconnected from everything. And so art is a great way to expound on that, because it may seem simple, but something like this is really hard to achieve. And once you own a piece like this, you can really look at it for a long time and it will bring things to you.
Oh.
Which is nice, because you know, it's a way to focus visually and have your subconscious speak to you.
Oh, I love that. Well, let's hear about who's speaking to us on the phones. Dee, tell us what's going on over there.
I am here with the lovely Megan. You will notice she's wearing her white gloves because she's an art handler. We have not broken, dropped, damaged, or ever a piece here at the auction because we have these lovely professionals that help us move things around. She is holding Nova by Charlotte Cooper. This is a beautiful encaustic piece. I kind of like the whole red, white, and blue patriotic thing that's going on, and the layers and layers of wax give it a really great luminesce. So you need to call in now. We've got a bid of $140. It's a $350 value. So let's go back to Mary Ellen and look at another encaustic piece.
Yes, we are, again, looking at this beautiful piece by Susan Poirier. And if you're just joining us, this is what's called an encaustic piece. And Mary Ellen, can you again explain to us, you know, what that means for the viewer?
Well, it gives it a texture. Because of wax, the wax pigment, it gives it kind of, it's not three-dimensional, but there's a texture, and that kind of translates through the whole break of materials that are able to create something that's a little bit more lively than just a flat surface. And the camera can show that to you here because it kind of moves around. It has a fluidity to it, I believe.
I like that. And then again, you were stating before that this is an ancient way of actually doing this piece. Wow. So, well, we're going to keep it going. We are really excited about what we have to present here. So let's now take a look at the next item, and this is item 9C, and it's entitled Emerging Melody by Vera McMillan. This is on acrylic paper measuring 28 by 22, and it is again artist framed beautifully, I may add. It's just outstanding. And again, the retail value is $950. We want to kick this into high gear. It's just outstanding. Tell us a little bit about this piece, especially the glass that is behind.
The glass is plexiglass, which means it's non-reflective, and that's museum quality.
Great.
That's what the museums use these days. But Vera McMillan, she has been generous with the KVIE art auction for many years. She's trained in Europe, and she really likes the cityscape, and she likes the female form. And so this abstract with her acrylics really creates kind of a a luminescence, an abstract feeling of brightness, don't you think?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I love the way the colors they're just popping right out.
I know, like that lime, it really like works with your sweater.
Right.
I think, it's beautiful.
This is the color.
But it's bright, it pops out. And then she's got some, some other areas of interest where she's got some wording or, spatter and, these two figures, female figures, maybe they're going towards a field, it feels like to me. And, maybe they're sisters, because their hair looks similar, or maybe they're on the way to a festival of some type because it's so bright.
Well, tell us a little bit, if there's someone watching today and they're not familiar with the different forms like acrylic, what does that mean to them?
Acrylic is kind of a modern day invention in the sense of old painters used oil and it took forever to dry. Acrylic is a nice way of working because it dries quickly.
Okay.
And it also, artists can build it up. It doesn't quite give you as much texture as oil, but Vera here has built up her paint and layered it so that it gives it more of a quality that's concentrated.
Okay.
And again, it's a layering. Many different types of paint, and she makes it look easy, but it's not.
Well, we've got a high bid of $285, and those of you that want to jump on board, we want $300. We know you can do it, and remember, when you do that, not only are you securing a just outstanding, let me say, one-of-a-kind piece, because again, all of the artists here have donated their best of the best to us. What a gift. What a joy. And so let's check in with the phone bank and see how it's going over there. Hey, guys.
I love watching Nova 9A. That was the piece that Megan, our lovely volunteer, just came over and held up the blue piece that Dee talked about.
the encaustic piece.
More people have called in since then, and we're now up to 195. That has a retail of 350, and we have, I think, 3 people on the line for this, so that auction is going full swing. I love the piece, absolutely love the one that Amy was just on. I believe that was Emerging Melody.
Yes.
$285, the color on that, Dee?
That piece is beautiful, and that's a larger piece for that artist. She donates every year, and her work is always very popular.
Did you tell me that she was a past award winner?
Yes, she was a past jury award winner, I believe, year before last.
Okay, awesome. Okay, let's go back across the studio to Amy.
Well, we are now at item number 90. I'm so excited about this one. It's just so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
This is called Wader World by Milo. And again, this is a retail value of $450. It's pastels. Now, it measures 33 by 39, and it's artist frame. So let's jump right into this one and see what can you tell us about this?
Well, this is a really interesting pastel because of the way it's framed. It's almost like in a shadow box, but all pastels have to be framed that way so that the glass does not actually sit on top of the work. Because pastel is half crayon drawing, kind of half painting, and it's gives it a, this feels like a tapestry to me.
Yes.
Like maybe you would see it on a quilt print, or, and of course it's the seascape, which is very interesting. It's abstract and has a little bit of hieroglyphics up here, and it's just a really well done, accented piece, I think.
And I love the way you can actually see how it's laid out. I mean, it looks so delicate. And I'm sure you all can see that. Just look at the edging, and the way that it's framed is absolutely beautiful. It just draws that gold out.
Right, the gold matte actually really gives an accent to those golds. And then, in abstract, you can see the snail and the fish and the seahorse. This would look great in a tropical inspired room, or if you just like being by the beach and you want to imagine that.
Right, or if you can't be by the beach and you need to imagine that. I like the size too, Mary Ellen, because this can go anywhere. I mean, it's got just a great size. It can go on a wall in a home, in an office. and just capture your imagination. So we do now have just a wonderful high bid, and we are looking at a high bid of $135. We know you can do it. Give us a call. We would love to see you have this in your home or give it away as a gift. It's just outstanding. The colors, as you see there on your screen, just pop out at you. And all of the nice teal colors with the gold and the blue really just move together. And it's just got that fluidity like we were talking about
And it's very
earlier.
playful too, which, you know, art is supposed to be fun, and I think we're having fun here.
Yes.
And that's
Love it.
what it's inspiring, you know. And this would look great in any room of your house, a children's room, or like if you have an aquarium, you know, pay homage to your fish.
Right. Well, let's take a look at the phone bank. Tell us, guys, what's going on over there.
What's going on is a big call to action to get involved into the KVIE Art Auction. This is a special event that we plan all year long to bring art right into your homes. It's the only event of its kind. We're bringing art straight into your home that you can literally pick up today, that you're seeing here on television. You can say, hey, I like that for me or for a gift for a family member. Come pick it up this afternoon and it's ready to go. Let's go back over to Amy.
Well, let's see, Mary Ellen, this is just a fantastic piece. We don't even want to leave it yet because you guys have the opportunity to get something that's one of a kind and to be able to say, I got it through KVIE, and people will say, what? You did what? It is outstanding. You can see there as you're looking close at it like we are. Look at the gold and the braiding through that and the underlining. So is it difficult to use pastels? Is it a hard process?
It's very difficult. The Impressionists began, Edward Monet was one of the first famous artists to use pastels. And again, it's like a difference between drawing and painting. It's kind of straddles that middle ground. And you can actually blend on the paper, and that's what some artists really love to do because it gives them, again, an idea on how to experiment.
Okay.
And then the tooth of the paper always comes into play as well. Like there has to be some grain to get the pigment.
Right, I was going to say there is grain there. Let's check in with Dee and see how everything is going over there. Hey, Dee.
I am standing here next to Vyra McMillan's Emerging Melody. What a beautiful piece. What I like about this piece is it celebrates female friendship. Maybe it celebrates you and your sister. What a beautiful gift to give somebody. Your best friend, your bridesmaid, that woman who always puts up with you. Emerging Melody is currently only at $350 and it's got a $950 value. Please help us get this back up to its retail value. We're going to go out and look at another great contemporary piece.
Well, this is fantastic. We have now moved on to item number 9E, and this is entitled Gifted. Gifted is by Sheila Cameron, and this is mixed media, measuring 36 by 48. It's got a retail value of $850. Folks, this is just an outstanding piece. Take a look at all of these colors. Mary Ellen, tell us more about this fantastic work.
This artist, she works in acrylic and mixed media, and she is inspired by the fierce beauty of nature, is what she says. So this piece reminds me of a bog or a lake or a pond, and then she has this accent here of a white bow, where she likes to create pieces that include the femininity of nature. Nice. She likes to juxtapose that idea, and I think she does a really nice job with this large canvas here.
Mm-hmm. And the colors just seem to pop out. Tell us, what did she use to get all of these different strokes and patterns?
Well, she's got a layering. It's a textured original painting. Okay. So then it looks like she also takes some instruments maybe and creates more interest with. Do you remember we used to like do crayons over black and then like go into the black and then
get the color
when you were a kid?
Yes.
And that's kind of what that reminds me of down here.
Beautiful.
And another artist who believes in the joy of art, and the fun and it's supposed to be fun. Yes.
Well, we've got 180. Let's get that up to 100. As you can see with us, it's beautiful. As you go into this picture, like you were saying, Mary Ellen, you can see the actual textures of the canvas behind it, and it just makes those colors even more vivid. Now, let's talk a little bit about the framing. The framing is what type of framing for those who are watching?
Well, she's stretched, the artist has framed this herself, so she stretched it on a canvas.
Okay.
So the corners are all, you know, when you frame this on the wall, you will see it will be complete. It will
Okay.
look complete.
Nice.
And this would be a nice focal point in a room, like if you need a big piece on your wall. I think this is it, because especially this white field of, it speaks to femininity to
Yes.
me. Yeah.
Well, we've got a high bid of 180, but I want to see $200 go up. I know you want to see these pieces go up because of the value that KVIE brings to you every single day. And not only that, but it's just our joy to bring you art that is wonderful and that is giving back to you. Let's go ahead and check in the phone bank and see what we've got going over there. Hey, guys.
It's so exciting when you hear someone say, congratulations, you're the winning bidder. And you can just see the volunteer's face light up because you know the joy that is on the other end of the phone. I walked through and looked at all the area codes that are coming in on the caller IDs, and we have people coming in not just from all across Northern California, but I saw one from Philadelphia, and that reminds me that I want to tell you we are streaming live online nationwide, www.kvie.org/art auction. There you can watch the auction, you can get involved, you can also see what pieces are coming up for the rest of today and tomorrow, so you can go ahead and get your bid on for those, as well as spread the word with friends across the country. It's a great way to get involved with public television. Back to Amy.
Well, you're right, but it really is a great way to give back. Okay, we are at item 9F, and this is entitled by legacy artist Arthur Sordillo. And this is considered, Mary Ellen, mixed media. It's measuring 18 by 18. I love talking to folks that art might be new. And so can you explain to them and to us, what is considered mixed media?
Mixed media is everything. An artist who decides that he wants to use, in Arthur's case, he used plexiglass here.
Okay.
He was a pioneering artist in the 80s by sandwiching pieces of plexiglass together. So this is, he would do some layering and then put another piece on and then another piece together, and this is what he came up with. He has a legacy of a Mexican background, and so he tried to recreate something called papel picado, which if you'll see in restaurants sometimes the cut paper.
Yes.
That's what Arthur is trying to do here.
Oh, wow.
And there's a lot of contemporary artists now who are into this technique, but he was a pioneer and unfortunately passed away in 2012.
Okay.
And he leaves this beautiful body of work behind.
Well, we've got a high bid of 150. Let's see this go on up to 200. We know you can do it. This is a wonderful piece of a legacy artist who, again, has passed away not too long ago. But as you and I had a chance to talk earlier, folks have really tried to kind of duplicate his feel. So if you want something from Arthur, this is original, so you can have this just simply by picking up the phone and calling 1-844-KVIE-ART. It's gonna be worth it, folks, because listen, you get something that's unique to you, and we're gonna take a listen to what's going on over in the phone book. What's going on, guys?
I had to pull myself away from the M&M bowl just so I could get over here and talk about 9E Gifted by Sheila Cameron. This is a big, beautiful, bold statement of a piece. It's a great focal piece. I love the idea of mixing contemporary art into a classic environment, and this piece works really, really well for that. We only have a bid of $200 on this piece, and it's an $850 retail. So please call now, bid on 9E, and you can do that at 1-844-KVIE-ART, and it'll keep me out of the M&M bowl. I'm going to send it back out to the ladies on the floor.
Well, Dee, thank you so much. I tell you, we've got some great art here for you. I'm so thankful that we get a chance to bring this to you right here. Just call the number on your screen, 1-844-KVIE Art. It's that simple. Mary Ellen's with us, and she's going to tell us more about the legacy artist that we've got here. Again, his name is Arthur Sordillo. So tell us more about this, how special it is.
It's very special because Arthur was a great artist, and he really thought outside of the box. You know, he painted on motorcycles and motorcycle helmets, and he just was a materials guy. And again, he's passed it down from generation to generation, just kind of these same, it's a folkloric idea of cut paper and layering again, and it's just a great piece. It's contemporary and way ahead of its time.
Yeah, I was going to say it is very contemporary. Well, we've got 150. Let's get it on up to 200. We've got a wonderful group in our phone bank that are really anxious to take your call. They're so nice and helpful. They'll answer all the questions that you need. This is the time to call. KVIE brings you fantastic programming, and now we get to bring you fantastic art. So stay tuned. The number on the screen is 1-844-KVIE Art. Stay tuned because there's more art coming up. Please, please, you don't want to miss it. It's in the next half hour in the KVIE Art Auction. We'll see you in just a minute.
Bidding on items in the art auction is quick and easy to do. First, explore the collection online at kvie.org/art auction, or keep your television tuned to KVIE. When a piece of art catches your eye, call 1-844-KVIE Art and a volunteer will assist you. KVIE accepts all major credit cards for your art purchase, and a member of our accounting team will confirm your payment within 5 minutes of item sale. Thank you for being part of the KVIE Art Auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Stay tuned for a special themed collection coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. Themed galleries allow collectors to purchase art that share a common theme, regardless of medium or style.
Well, hello again. Hi, again, I'm Amy Henry. We're so glad you're back with us for another exciting half hour of the art auction. So let's take a look now at what's going to be up for bid in this next half hour. Item 10A is Windows to the Soul by Cassandra Reeves. This is mixed media, measuring 39 by 28. Artist framed, and the retail value is $950. Next, item 10B, The Chosen One by Dottie Means Brown. This again is mixed media, measuring 15 by 19. It's also artist framed, and it's a retail value of $400. Item 10C, Leaves Inspiration by Ramona K. Beckwith. This is mixed media, measuring 30 by 12. And it too is a value of $400. Item 10D is Transparent Collage by Todd Head. This is mixed media, measuring 22 by 26. It's artist framed, and its retail value is $400. Next, item 10E is About the Oil Fields by Jill Allen Stafford. This is mixed media, measuring 20 by 24, and the retail value is $300. And last, item 10F, Franz Joseph I by Gerald Barnes. This also is mixed media, measuring 18 by 24, and the retail value is $800. Wow, well, we have got a wonderful break here. We're so pleased again to be joined again by mosaic artist Mary Ellen Lane, a contributing auction artist and longtime auction volunteer. Thank you so much, Mary Ellen.
Thank you, Amy. Pleased to be here. Yes.
Oh, good. Well, this is an exciting break because we've got some pieces that are just outstanding. I mean, the values alone are fantastic. And again, all of the artists have donated all of their pieces, and you are getting top art. So we want to start the bidding. So let's go ahead and take a look at this first one. This is item 10A, and it's entitled Windows to the Soul by Cassandra Reeves.
Yes,
so
let's
tell us
talk
a little
about
bit.
Cassandra. She is a mixed media artist. Last year's piece was also collage and very successful in the auction, and I expect this one will be as well. She is inspired by nature. I think when you look at this piece, it totally speaks of a natural world to you, and that's what Cassandra is aiming for. She uses a lot of texture, a lot of different, like if you'll notice these mirrors here, that's in order for you to look at the piece and kind of in some ways have it look back at you, or to find yourself in the piece.
Yeah.
This large fan here, it seems, I think that she constructed that of her own. You know, it's authentically constructed. It's not just a normal fan, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's all original, it's all beautiful, and it's the torn edges around the frame, and then it's in a shadow box, which makes it really nice.
Wow, we do have a starting bid of $250. Let's hear the phones ring. This is a marvelous piece. I mean, look at that. If you all can see with us, the intricacy of the all of the detail within the fan is just marvelous. And again, it's mixed media, so the layering process is really delicate on this piece.
Right. It's another in this series that we're working with again. It's layering. It's all about where am I going to go? How is it going to speak to me? And how is it going to transform in reality? And then you get that when you're looking at it as well. Like you may focus on this part for a while, and then the next day that you own it, you know something else comes forward. And I think that's the beauty of collage. It's very layered.
Wow, well, let's go to the phone bank and see what's happening over there. What's going on over there, you guys?
I am here with the lovely Patty French, and I am with Arthur Sordillo's Untitled piece. Arthur Sordillo is one of our legacy artists. He was born in Sacramento, very well known in the New York area. He won first place in contemporary a couple years ago, and when I went to hand him the check, he handed it back and told me to have PBS keep it. So it's number 9F. There's only a bid of $150 on it right now. It's a $750 retail. This is an internationally known artist. This is a great piece to add to your contemporary collection. And you can only do that by calling. Speaking of contemporary collection pieces, let's look at that Cassandra Reeves piece one more time.
Yeah, this is absolutely stunning. Again, it's a $950 bidding, and we've got a starting bid of $250. Let's make the phone banks ring. You can do it. You can have something just as unique like this made and created by Cassandra Reeves. Tell us a little bit more, Mary Ellen, about just the uniqueness of her work.
Well, I think her work is, it's bright, it's playful, but it also has a calming feel to it. She kind of channels another world to me. Like for instance, if you'll notice this little bit of glitter, it's not glitter per se, but there's a bit of a sparkle to it. It's windows to the soul. And how can you channel that unless you're an artist, really? And we all have a little bit of an artist in us, I think.
That's beautiful. And then up at the top there, it's almost like you can see a duplication of the fan work that's here.
Right. There's repetitions also in the hand-painted flowers here and the trees, and it's just a beautiful work. The composition is stellar.
Wow, and again, the size is a good size hanging up anywhere, and the framing again is artist framed, and the value again is $950, and we do have a nice high bid of $500. Let's keep it going because this is exciting. You can get something that's one of a kind, and you can only get it on KVIE. So let's now move on to our next item. Our next item is 10B, and it's entitled The Chosen One by Dottie Means Brown. This again is mixed media, and its size is 15 by 19, and the value, folks, is $400. You can get this beautiful $400 valued piece. Start the bidding off. We want you to call. So tell us a little bit about this piece.
Well, to kind of take it to a different level, Amy, the artist Dottie Means Brown created this work to explore ideas around grief and the chaos of grief. And I think that in the collage here, there does seem to be a little bit of chaos. And I think when people grieve, there is kind of that feeling of all the different stages and going through. And I think the artist tried to capture that here. She has some scribbling and some darkness, but yeah, there's also areas of light, and it's just very textured and very rich.
That is beautiful. And again, it's artist framed, set against a black mat there, and the colors just pop out at you. And even though it centers around grief, which I think is very unique. I mean, do you find as an art expert that often artists will take areas in their own life or maybe friends and families and create pieces that reflect maybe what they're going through that actually helps the whole community if they're going through something similar?
Sure, that's, I think, the beauty of art is expression, and people who aren't even considered artists, they will use art as a way to express things. Well, we all do that, you know, we scribble or whatever. To put it out there is really an act of courage. And to give it over to people to see is an act of bravery. And I really love this piece because of the textures and there's this watercolor and kind of a smearing and a chaos, you know. And there's even at this little place right here, it seems like things have come up off of the canvas a bit and layering impasto kind of feel. So. Yeah, it's a very interesting piece, another one that would stay on your wall for a while and have you become kind of one with it.
Wow. Well, we do have a starting bid of $120. We want you to call. This, again, is a wonderful piece. Let's check in with the phone bank. How you guys doing?
I've got Jessica here in the phone bank, and she helps out with all the bidding and all that. How fast does it really go?
The pieces are going extremely fast. We're having bidders who are calling in, and they're sad that they just missed their piece. So if you have your eye on something, be sure to pick up the phone and call that number, 1-844-KVIE-ART. Now,
let's go back out to Mary Ellen.
Well, again, if you're just joining us, we are looking at a wonderful piece that was created by Dottie Means Brown, The Chosen One, and it's got a really unique purpose behind it, and it probably is a piece that catches everybody at some point in life.
Sure.
So again, explain to our viewers kind of what her uniqueness was in creating this piece.
I think she just wanted to express some grief around the loss of someone close to her in her life, and again, it's a courageous act to put that out there and for us all to see it and to share in it, because we can all kind of touch on grief. I mean, we can't escape it. So for her to explore that for us and then to give over it's a wonderful act of kindness, really.
Right. And again, folks, this is mixed media that we're looking at. So Mary Ellen, being that it's mixed media, does she primarily use watercolor? Or did she?
It looks like it's on watercolor paper because you have this kind of deckled edge. And then it looks like she took tissue paper and maybe painted on it. And then this looks like almost like a plaster of some type, although I could be wrong about that. And it has a dimensional feel to it.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Wow. Well, that's wonderful. Well, we know that we've got a wonderful next selection to look at. And we want you to see what's coming up next is item 10C. You can see that there, and it's entitled Leaves Inspiration by Ramona K. Beckwith. It again is mixed media, and the size is 30 by 12, and the retail value again, folks, is $400. And we want to see this really go forward. We've got a starting bid of $120. Let's make the phone ring. And again, can I just say thank you so much for watching us today, because we know that you care about the mission of KVIE. We care about bringing you wonderful programming that is life-changing, but now we get to bring you art that also is going to make a statement in your life or someone else's. So let's talk a little bit about what Ramona K. has made here. This is outstanding. I love the colors.
Another collage by Ramona K. Beckwith. She donated last year. Beautiful piece, beautiful work. She has a great command of color. The colors in this speak to me, obviously because fall's here and, well, it's almost here. And the leaves, the stamping of the leaves and the different acrylic type patterns, and then there's kind of a falling feel to this. The other thing I really love about this piece is the size. Because of the length of it, it would fit on a really nice space that just cries out for something that's a little bit different. Yeah.
Right. Well, let's check in with the phone bank and see what's going on over there.
So these are the hours that excite me the most. And I know that that may not make any sense, right? When we don't have bids on the piece of art. But the reason it excites me the most is because it's your chance to get involved in collecting art. These are some of the lowest prices that you will see. We have no starting bids on some of these beautiful pieces of art. And if you call in, you could be that one lucky caller, that one person that goes home with that starting bid, the chosen one, 10B. We're looking for a starting bid of $120. As well as 10D, which you're going to see coming up in a second. I mean, some of these prices, they're really low, and it's a great way to start your art collection. So I love it when this happens, but let's get the phones ringing. Call 1-844-KVIE-ART and start your collection with us today. Back to you.
That's right. This is where you can actually start your collection, or you can add to it, or you can actually start a collection for somebody else. And again, Rob is right. You are getting just fantastic art that has been generously donated to KVIE, and we want to offer it to you. This is where you can get it. It's one of a kind, folks. And right now we're standing by a one of a kind piece. Again, this is item 10C, Leaves Inspiration. It's absolutely stunning. I mean, look at the colors. As you see it is exactly how we see it. And the colors of fall,
I would like to point out,
this
interesting aspects here where there's also like some writing. You know, it's not really discernible, but you get the feeling that it's a newspaper or some kind of a journal maybe. And then there's right in the middle there is some tissue paper that has some tooth to it, and it all wraps around the side again. A really beautiful composition in an abstract form.
Right, and we do now have a high bid of $250. Let's get that up to $300. Thank you so much, bidders. But again, as you heard earlier, when you call in, bids are coming in quick. So if you want it, jump on the phone. The number is there on your screen, 1-844-KVIE. ART is the number. 1-844-KVIE-ART. Make that call. And we've got folks that are really, really able to help you all through the process. Picking up your art or having it sent to you is very, very easy. So we've made it very simple for you to have something beautiful. So we're going to take a look now at the next item on our list. And that item is 10D. And it's entitled Transparent Collage by Todd Head. And again, this is mixed media, measuring 22 by 26, and it is artist framed. And boy, I tell you, the frame is just outstanding. And it's valued at $400. Look at those colors. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Mary Ellen, who's with us, our art expert, is going to tell us more about this gorgeous piece.
The artist is Todd Head, and he comes from a very artistic family. In fact, in the last hour, his brother, Dwight Head, was the Dali-esque piece.
Okay.
The Head brothers, I just love them, and their sister also is involved in Sacramento art.
Wow.
But as far as this piece goes, it's very indicative of Todd's work because he pushes the boundaries, he experiments, he uses a lot of different materials that wouldn't normally be used. I think that one of the really outstanding qualities of this piece is the framing. And the artist framed this himself. And so if you'll notice, it has this beautiful ornate frame, and then it goes into a shadow box. And then he's created another frame that goes into somewhat of a shadow box. And then so it just kind of gives you a depth of field that is really something special.
It is, and we've got just a starting bid of $100. $100, folks. You can get this. Now, again, it retails at $400. Todd gave this to us just out of the goodness of his heart. And what work. I mean, you can just see it in all of the paintings that we're bringing to you. This is just a starting bid of $100. And as Rob said to you earlier, this is an exciting time because if you want this, this is the time to call and it can be yours. So let's get the phones ringing and let's see what we can do for you by bringing this wonderful piece of art. So Mary Ellen, tell us a little bit. You were talking about the layering process, the work that goes into something like this.
Right, and collage tends to give us a translucent feel because of the layers, and I think you can see that. The facial aspect of that, I don't know if it's autobiographical of the artist or not, a self-portrait perhaps, but the glass, the different layers of glass kind of give it a luminance that you wouldn't normally get from just a flat painting. And I also like the tribal feel of this piece because of the sections and the way Todd has kind of masked off certain things, and it's a really interesting piece, don't you think?
I do, and you know what jumps out at me, you all can see it on your screen too so beautifully, is the choice of the matting and how the matting goes with the colors itself of the art, and it's just outstanding, and we love all of that. And so listen folks, we need those phones to ring, so let's check in with Rob and see what's going on.
Yes, we're looking for a starting bid of $100 on that beautiful piece, Transparent Collage. And I want to tell you that many times you hear organizations talk about 60 cents on the dollar, 90 cents on the dollar, 95 cents on the dollar, which is great, going to the organization. But this weekend, 100% of every dollar spent goes directly to KVIE and to the programming that we bring you 24 hours a day. So all of the artists have given their time. They've given us this work. The framers have given us this work. We have people in our makeup room volunteering, even the clothes I'm wearing, S. Benson and Company. They donated the clothes for me to have something to wear this weekend. I mean, it's just donation central. So thank you so much for making your money count. Place the bids and get involved in the art auction. You will not regret it. 844 KVIE Art. Back to you.
You're so right, Rob. This is something that's, once in a lifetime in a sense this year, because we get to bring you art that is just outstanding, one of a kind. And right now we're standing by a piece. This is item 10E, and it's entitled About the Oil Fields by Jill Allen Stafford. And again, this is mixed media. Now, it measures 20 by 24, and its retail is $300, folks. And so we've got right now a high bid of 90. You want this beautiful piece? We're going to talk to our art expert about it. And as you listen in, jump on those phones, but don't wait too long because it's going to be gone. So Mary Ellen, let's jump right into this. Tell us about this piece here.
Jill Allen Stafford, she's a local Sacramento artist. She's beloved. She's very accomplished, and I just love this piece because it looks like a painting from afar, but of course it's mixed media collage. The field of blue with the poppies, it's just really nice, and I think the layering here is special for the artist because she is doing homage. It's her grandfather worked in the oil fields in California. So this field of blue here, if you look closely, is all about her grandfather's journal, which she has kind of transcribed into the piece. Wow. And then she's created these poppies from different materials. And if you'll notice down here on the bottom, it's sewing patterns that her grandmother kind of used. And she wanted to incorporate that as an homage to her family, which I think is just so sentimentally fabulous. And it also connects her to California, and she wanted to kind of create something that would be lasting that way.
Wow, so she's got the poppies here that just pop out. with the bright, I guess it's tangerine or orange. That's beautiful. Well, we do have a high bid of 90. We want to see that go on up to 150. Let's put a call in. Tell us what's going on, Dee.
Yeah, we have good news. Can you bring 10C over? It's okay if it's live.
We've
Just
got
bring
a
it on
bell
over.
ringer, Leaves Inspiration, which is item number 10C, is currently at $455, and it's still being bid. We've got a really good auction going on back here. It's this beautiful Ramona, it's Beckwith, right? Yep.
Yes.
We love her. She donates every year. It's now at $455. Anything above that retail price is a tax deduction, and everything goes to PBS. So please call now, 1-844-KVIE Art, and bid, 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 bid. And I love that poppy piece, so let's hear some more about it.
Well, you're right. This is a beautiful piece. Well, we're excited about the bell ringers. You could be the one to make this thing send off our bell. This is right now retailing at $300. And I tell you, we've got a $90 high bid. Let's get those phones ringing. This is a wonderful artist. Jill Allen Stafford has captured just her heritage. She's captured California and the colors. I noticed that the framing again is wrapped, which is really nice.
Yes,
so you
artist
can see
framed,
it.
yes.
Artist framed.
And I think if you were to buy this piece, you would almost have to talk to the artist so that you could discern the legacy behind it, because you know a lot of her ancestors worked all over, like in Modesto in the canning fields. Her grandfather worked again on the oil rigs, and so these middle fields are ephemera of stamps and labels and things that are integral to our heritage here in California. And I think it's just a beautiful piece for that fact alone, is that she gave over, you know, the idea of her family. She created that and put that into the work.
That is wonderful. We do have a high bid of $100. Folks, thank you so much for calling. Keep calling, because this is, again, one-of-a-kind piece that can be yours just simply by picking up the phone, calling the number on your screen, 1-844-KVIE Arts. Let's take a look at what's going on in the phone book. Dee, tell us.
I want to talk a little bit about Todd Head's piece. This is an amazing piece. Right now we have a bid of $250, and I need to get that up to $400. This framing is gorgeous, and the artist did this himself. He meant to incorporate the framing into the work. It's got two beautiful fillets right in here. He's got a beautiful hand-cut handmade paper that he's inlaid the piece with, which works really well with his really strong composition on his collage. Again, he's got this nice linen mat, so he's doing a very traditional sort of presentation for a really, really modern piece. I've got a bid of $250 on this. I want to see $400. It's a beautiful piece, and we want to thank Todd for it. Again, item 10D, call and bid now. Let's go back out to Mary Ellen.
Well, this is our last piece in this section, and this again is item 10F. It's entitled Franz Joseph I by Gerald Barnes. It's mixed media, and its size is 18 by 24. Retail value, folks, is $800. You can have it. Start calling the number on your screen. We're going to jump right into this. Tell us a little bit about this piece, Mary Ellen.
Okay, the artist is really into traveling and knowledge and literature, art, and I think that translates into the work. Again, kind of a mixed media collage. It has a steampunk feel to me, but it also has kind of that old world exposition type idea. I really like the male figure at the top. It's just beautifully rendered. You know, collage is like his stamp here and the you know, it reminds me of something engineering based or science based. Like I could see this in an office of an engineer or a construction man or construction woman, or you know, people who like science and math. I think this art would speak to them.
Excellent. Well, we do have a starting bid of $200. Let's make the phones ring. We've got folks in our phone bank that are anxiously waiting for you to call. And, you know, the colors on here are really nice because they just take you back to that period of time. Now, let's talk a little bit about the bottom half of this beautiful piece. And do we know anything about these gentlemen at all?
Well, you know, I don't really know much about these gentlemen. I think that they're every man, though. The artist is recently retired.
Okay.
And, you know, it happens to the best of us. And so we go back to what we love. And so the artist, Gerald Barnes, says that he went back to art. And so he just basically is painting or collaging what interests him. And literature and math and science are the things, travel, the things that he loves. So again, it's a layered kind of idea of what he wants to represent.
Well, let's check in with Rob at the phone bank and see what we've got going on there. Rob.
So I know a little inside information on this piece, Franz Joseph, that's up on the screen that we've been seeing with Amy and with Mary Ellen. Gerald Barnes happens to be the stylist for Pottery Barn. So he knows what he's talking about when it comes to putting a composition together. And William Ishmael, who is just known all across Northern California for his art, for his philanthropic works with the art, he talked this person into giving this piece to the art auction. And there you have it. We have a stylist from Pottery Barn donating this year, so that's pretty cool. We're at $200 right now. We're looking to get that up to $800, and we are going to toss things back over to Amy and Mary Ellen and see if we can get this up to at least $300.
Yes. Oh, thanks for that. That's really good information. That's really helpful. And, you know, again, just to cap on that, we have got wonderful artists that have that have given over their art to us for you to bid on and to have one-of-a-kind pieces in your home, in your office, giving it as a gift. This is the one place where you can come and get pieces that will retail for $400, $500, $800 or more, and you can get them at a price that's really great for you, but you're also supporting KVIE. I mean, really, it's a win-win. So take a look at this piece again. This is, again, marvelous mixed media. It's a collage. And is there anything else that we should know that would really just be helpful for the person that's going to pick this piece up?
Well, I think what Rod said, if he's the stylist for Pottery Barn, then this is, you know, a highly collectible piece.
Yes.
And in fact, I wish I could get on the phone right now myself because it's a one-of-a-kind. This is an original.
Yes.
And I think it would be really nice to add to your collection.
Awesome. Well, listen, stay tuned because there's more art coming up in the next half hour just for you in the KVIE art auction. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you in a minute.